Today we're going to be taking a look at the Samsung 2025 The Frame Pro. What makes this TV Pro? Is it even worthy of that conversation? And should you be buying this with your hard-earned money? At the end of the day, I hopefully will answer those questions for you as we go through the full review of the Frame Pro. To start with the specifications and to understand where your ports are going to be, you have to understand that the Frame Pro is going to come equipped with a wireless One Connect box. It does plug directly to the wall, so you do need to make sure there is a wall outlet next to it, because otherwise, how does it get power? So of course, that part will be wired, but everything else will be wireless. So what we're looking at with the wireless One Connect box is 4 HDMI 2.1 ports supporting 4K 144Hz with eARC for your audio. The biggest downside with these 4K 144Hz ports is that it's wireless, so you are going to be dealing with some latency, and latency plus gaming, usually not a good solution. Are you stuck with poor latency with your HDMI in mind? Well, in this case, no, there is a micro HDMI port on the back of the TV. The TV is available in 65 inches all the way up to 85 inches. So not as wide of a range as you would expect from the Frame series. The TV display technology being used in the TV itself is going to be edge-lit, but not just your typical edge-lit. This is an edge-lit mini LED TV. While Samsung doesn't denote this themselves, what I see from this TV is that it is almost the same exact TV as the QN70F Neo QLED that they offer in their lineup. But I want to be specific that this is not a QN70F review, though they are very similar in their specs. One thing you'll want to know about the Frame Pro is that it is a matte display, so it has an anti-reflective coating, which is going to make the art look more like a canvas according to Samsung. Now, whether or not you think this is a more artistic look or not is really going to depend on how you look at things, but it doesn't look too bad when we do have artwork being displayed. Now, before I dig even deeper into picture quality, let's talk about the OS and livability. This is running the 2025 Tizen UI, which is going to be noticeably faster than previous versions. There is art mode, which is enhanced by Vision AI. So yes, you do have the ability to generate your own artwork if that's something you're into with AI. However, if you want real artwork, then you'll have to go to the art store. I found art from many different famous artists, so if this is something that you're looking for, they definitely have it with the Samsung Art Store. Tizen UI also has the Samsung Gaming Hub, which is going to give you support for cloud gaming with a Bluetooth controller, so you don't need a console at all. There's tons of support for different cloud gaming services, including Xbox. If you need more information on the Tizen UI and what's new for 2025, I do have a separate video, so definitely check that out if you're interested. We're about to jump into picture quality, but before I do so, I just want to give you some transparency on the situation of reviewing this TV. Samsung did send us this TV as a loaner unit. We have since sent it back, and just like all the reviews I do on this channel, Samsung has no editorial impact on this review. Everything that you're hearing is my opinion and my opinion only. Now, I will have the affiliate links for this TV in the description below, and if you guys are shopping for a TV, if you're buying this one or any of them at all, please do use those links, as it does help support and grow the channel. Thank you guys so much for your support. Now on to the picture quality. Let's start with the strengths of this TV. It's a Neo QLED, which means it is going to have QLED quantum dot. And what we see coming out of this TV is some good colors. We do see some good colors and good brightness overall from the Neo QLED display. So when it comes down to bright, colorful images, the Frame Pro definitely doesn't disappoint in that department. It also does use the NQ4 AI Gen 3 processor, and overall I thought it did a really good job upscaling content, and it was very similar to what I saw out of their other Neo QLED TVs in the past. Like I discussed a little bit earlier, there is a mini LED backlight in here, but only on the edge lit display portion of the TVs. This is definitely something I haven't personally seen with other TVs, and I thought maybe the impact would be a little bit greater, but to me, this doesn't look too much different than an edge-lit display, other than just being a little bit brighter and a little bit more colorful. So if you did like the frame, but you just wish it had more HDR capability, this would be a good reason to get the Frame Pro. However, it is going to still have poor off-angle viewing, and the contrast is going to fade unless you are in the dead center of the TV. Unfortunately, also, there is going to be a case where the TV just doesn't deliver great black levels. The contrast overall is very poor. In a dark room, when you're trying to watch a movie, it's going to give you a lackluster experience, like most edge-lit TVs, like most mini LED TVs in general, but to the degree of this, not really as bad as some better full array local dimming mini LED TVs. Those are going to be a lot better than the Frame Pro's quality. HDR is definitely going to be passable, but it still is going to be underwhelming for a premium TV. SDR looks pretty good on this TV. Really not a bad experience in SDR, unless of course we're talking about watching movies in the dark. Then, SDR is going to be bad there. So I'd say the picture quality is good for casual viewing, but it really doesn't justify the price if you're somebody that watches a ton of movies. The sound quality of the Frame Pro is pretty passable as well. It's got 40 watts, 2.2 channel speakers, and it's okay for a slim TV, but it just lacks the depth of a dedicated sound system. So we definitely recommend a dedicated soundbar, maybe something with the Q Symphony like the Samsung soundbars have, so you can have a nice complete package. But really, just any dedicated audio would be great to add to this in the first place, because it is a very thin sounding TV. Now we're talking about the gaming side of things. I did let you know that there is going to be input lag, and that is going to be something that is going to be detrimental. But if you're just going to be playing casual games, you can get away with it. Buying this TV primarily for gaming, I do think that would be a mistake, and there are better TVs out there for gaming. So not something that I can totally recommend for gamers. If you're a serious gamer, I would steer clear of this. If you're casual and this is just going to be something you do sometimes, it's okay. Now, before I give my final rating for this TV, let's talk about the competition and the value for the Frame Pro. On sale right now, this TV is $2,100 in the 65-inch size. To me, that feels very steep for the performance level that you're getting out of the TV. Like, you're going to have to really love art and you just want a big upgrade over the frame. It doesn't really feel like that big of an upgrade over the regular frame, but it is still going to be brighter and more impactful in the HDR. But I still think that, man, this is just very steep when it comes down to the offering of what the price is. Like, you can get a 65-inch OLED TV from Samsung for even less. So I would recommend that over the Frame Pro. But if you're watching this, you're probably looking at this for the art reasons, and an OLED's not obviously going to have the art store. So if we're talking about another Samsung TV that's also a Neo QLED, then the Samsung QN90F is going to offer you the art store as well, and they're also going to have an anti-glare screen, and it's going to be overall better picture quality than the Frame Pro. So what you're buying with the Frame Pro is mostly the wireless One Connect box and having the ability to customize the frame with the different bezels and to really give it that painting look. And that's really what you're going to be buying the Frame Pro for. I do not recommend buying the Frame Pro if you're going to put it on a stand like I did. Please, if you buy this TV, know that you are going to sacrifice picture quality versus the other TVs you could have bought for the same exact price. So all in all, I'll have to say that the frame is just not going to be worth your time, and I'm going to rate it a 6.5 out of 10. Yes, it's an upgrade over the frame, but it's not a huge upgrade over the frame. It doesn't really feel like the Pro version of the frame. It really disappoints me that you have the Neo QLED QN90F, and it's going to be so much better than the Frame Pro, but it's cheaper than the Frame Pro. I really think that if you're going to really offer a premium the Frame Pro and call it Pro, then it should be at least as good as the QN90F, because this is just too much of a downside when you're talking about the Frame Pro. I really hope you found this review helpful, and if you want to keep watching TV reviews or TV comparisons, I have a lot of them that you might want to take a look at right here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, and I hope to see you in the next one.